Hello, my name is Mike, and in this video you join me in the 2021 Chevrolet Spark. Now I know what you're thinking. Mike, you idiot, why are you reviewing such a crappy car? Well, it's actually not that crappy, at least I don't find it to be that crappy. And secondly, there still is a market for people who want to buy a brand new car, but they don't have the money or the budget for a $30,000, $20,000, or even a $15,000 Canadian dollar brand new car. And this Spark is one of the least expensive cars that you can buy right now. So let's keep driving and I'll try to explain to you why I don't think that this is a crappy car. Under that very short hood of the Chevy Spark, you get a 1.4 liter naturally aspirated engine. It doesn't produce 100 horsepower, not even 99, 98 horsepower, and 94 pound-feet of torque. That's not a whole lot. I mean, Car and Driver did a test of 0 to 60 miles an hour and it took them 10.7 seconds, somewhere around there. So definitely not a fast car. But it only weighs 1,050 kilograms, which is pretty much the same as a Lotus Elise. I'm not saying that this is a Lotus Elise, but I'm just saying it's very light. And actually, if you go for the manual transmission, it's about 20 or 30 kilograms lighter. However, even though it doesn't have that much power, I never saw the RPM needle go past 3,000 RPMs. Even when I'm overtaking someone, sure, the needle jumps up to 3,000 RPMs, but it doesn't go past that. It doesn't need to. There's enough low-end power and torque to get you going. When it comes to shifting gears, you have two options. Standard is a 5-speed manual transmission and the option is a CVT automatic. This demo vehicle had the optional CVT. It does a decent enough job of getting the car moving without much fuss. It quickly tries to drop the RPMs as low as possible once you're up to speed to improve fuel economy. But if you know how to drive a car with a manual transmission, go for that. I briefly drove a Chevy Spark with the 5-speed manual, and it is a joy even on mundane city streets. Of course, the great benefit of having such a small engine and such a small car is fuel economy. And this one is rated for 7.7 liters per 100 kilometers in a city and 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers on a highway. Right now I am averaging 6.8 liters per 100 kilometers, so you can easily reach those fuel economy targets. And also, just going back to the whole speed not being so fast thing, because the car is so small and all the other cars around you are so big, especially those big lifted trucks with, you know, the owners that are overcompensating for something in the pants department, or so I'm told, this car actually feels like you're going faster than you actually are. Like, you're thinking you're going 100 kilometers an hour, but then you look down and you're barely hitting 60 kilometers an hour. When it comes to stopping in the Chevy Spark, it has regular front discs, but it has drum brakes. Despite that though, because the car is so lightweight, like I said, pretty much a Lotus Elise, almost. Okay, not really. But because it's so light, it really doesn't take much effort on the brake pedal to actually bring the car to a stop. The brake pedal is very easy to modulate. Doesn't quite feel that firm when you first step on it, but the harder or the more you push down on it, the firmer it gets. Because the Chevy Spark is so light, it feels super agile around corners. So long as the skinny tires grip, the little Spark is a lot of fun to drive on tight, technical back roads. Its lightweight and quick steering also makes it super easy to dart through busy city traffic. And parking behind a classic Porsche is a breeze thanks to its small size. Normally, cars with short wheelbases tend to have a more bouncy ride. The 2021 Chevrolet Spark is no different. The suspension is not tightly tuned for sporty driving like a Mini Cooper, for example, but bouncy rides and short wheelbases go together like peanut butter and jelly. It's just a characteristic of these type of cars. Depending on where you sit in the 2021 Spark, you'll either have plenty of space or no space at all. The front seats are fairly upright like in a crossover, but tall occupants, like myself at 6'4", will still have plenty of leg and headroom. For rear occupants, it's a different story. There are only 2 seats in the back with the middle portion reserved for cup holders. But leg and headroom is virtually non-existent for rear occupants, especially if someone like myself is sitting in the front. And now I shall try to demonstrate just how little room there is in the back. As you can see, I was really struggling to get into the back behind my driving position, never mind being comfortable. Obviously, if a shorter person sits in the front, there will be a teensy-weensy bit more room in the back. You could fold the rear seats for more cargo, but that in itself is a challenge. The bottom cushion needs to be lifted first before the seat backs can be lowered. But if the front seats are too far back, you need to move those forward first. As well, once the rear seats are folded, it is not a flat cargo area. Speaking of which, the 2021 Chevy Spark has 314 liters of cargo capacity behind the back seats and 770 liters with those rear seats folded. On the move, noise is plentiful inside the Spark, but thankfully it is better than some of its competitors. Engine noise is moderate when accelerating so long as the RPMs remain below 3,000-ish. Once the car is on a steady cruise, the engine's RPMs are negligible, but that's when road noise takes over. Again, it's not as bad as some of its competitors, but you may want to turn up the radio by a notch or two. The least expensive 2021 Chevrolet Spark that you can get is the LS trim for $10,200 Canadian. If you're watching this in the United States, I don't know why it costs so much more for you. But on this trim, you do not get amenities like power windows, power locks, power mirrors, cruise control, alloy wheels, and so on. Instead, you do get 10 airbags, a 7-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, Bluetooth, 4G LTE with Wi-Fi, and a backup camera. At the other end of the spectrum, a fully loaded 2LT comes equipped with automatic emergency braking, lane departure warning, rear park assist, leatherette upholstery, push-button start, sunroof, heated seats, and remote start. Obviously, this does drive up the price to $19,200 Canadian. In terms of design, the little Spark looks pretty good. To me at least. This particular demo vehicle had the Sport package, which added the black roof, black front bumper accents around the grille, black bow ties, and black 15-inch wheels. My only complaint is the headlights. They couldn't light up the darkest road even if it was the only car on it. HID or LED headlights on higher trims should be made at least optional. Okay, so let's recap. It's very fuel efficient. It's very fun to drive around city streets or even twisty mountain roads, really tight, technical, twisty mountain roads. And it's inexpensive. So, sure, it's not the most comfortable car and definitely not the most spacious. But if you're just driving by yourself or maybe a wife or a girlfriend with you, it's more than enough. Definitely not a family because, yeah, you're not going to fit anyone back there. So, with a starting price of $10,200, it is the least expensive brand new car that you can buy right now here in Canada. Although I don't really recommend that one because it doesn't have AC or power windows or power locks or power mirrors. basically anything electronical, it doesn't have it. The one that I would recommend is the 1LT with the manual transmission. You're going to have a lot more fun with the manual transmission than with this CVT. And it costs just under $15,000 Canadian. And of course that one you get the AC and power windows, cruise control, everything that you basically need in a city car. So that's my recommendation. If you want to know more about this 2021 Chevrolet Spark, I wrote a comprehensive and detailed review of it over on my website. You can find that link in a video description. And as always, I will see you in the next car or truck, or maybe it'll be an extra small SUV next time. Who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.